Social media. Love it or hate it, it's one of the most accessible ways to promote your business. Whatever your business you happen to be in. Musician, visual artist, accounting firm, food shop. But it can also turn into a black hole of time that you spend a lot of time doing but not seeing much reward from. Today I'm speaking with Delilah Walsh from Do Re Media to give us a bit of an overview on how the main social media platforms work and how to use them more effectively. Welcome to Taking Care of Business, Dee.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, what a pleasure, because I know you're the woman that knows everything about, big call about social media.
Things.
All the good stuff. Well, maybe it's not about knowing all the things, but it's knowing about, the overview on how it works, because social media is a big place. It's Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and
Yeah, it's a big space to be in, especially if you're trying to do it all.
Yeah, and that's the problem with small business owners.
Yeah.
You are doing everything. And so you need to be using your time most effectively.
Yeah. Efficiently and effectively is, and to do a couple of platforms and maybe it's just one and do it really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us how social media works. I've heard you explain this before and I loved this explanation. So now, how do we look at social media, Dee?
Oh, gosh. We start at the beginning. Social media is a social place, and I think as long as you're plugging into your community when it comes to your business, I think you'll go really far with it. But I think that's the first place to start. If you are a small business, you do need to make sure that you are supporting your local community and supporting your customers, and that kind of becomes a two-way street kind of thing. It's not so much of a one-way thing that it used to be in print media and newspaper. Well, that's the same thing, and TV and that kind of thing. Whereas social media, it's directly to your fans as a musician or as an artist. So you've got such a closer relationship with them, and if you're supporting them, then they're supporting you, and it's just a lot closer. So it's community. It's all about community.
Yeah, it is. It's much more interactive, and it's a really great opportunity for you to hear from people that might be interested in your services and to get some instant feedback and it's great. It makes people feel like they're being listened to, which is
absolutely
the point.
And you can include them in so much of your business. And at the end of the day, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it for yourself or is it for your customers? And it gives you that interactive feedback loop, and like you say, it's quite instant now with social media. So
So how does social media interact with, say, your website, which is how we all used to have our online presence? Just have you got a website? Now it's that's kind of, it seems to be secondary, and it's all about social media.
Yeah. It very much depends on the business that you own to begin with. Some businesses, it is really important for them to have a website, and your social media. If I could paint the picture, your website is the trunk of the tree, and your social media is the leaves and the branches of the tree, and they should be feeding back to your website. But it kind of only makes sense if your website is somewhere where you're selling something, or if that's where there's a purpose to be sending them to your website, if it's information that they'll need, or a service that you're providing that they can pay for through your website, kind of thing. So it depends on your business, and as long as you're servicing your website as well, because it's another platform that you have to have fresh content on. So, in order for Google to pick that website up and push it up the Google ranks, you do need to have fresh content on your website.
Now that's kind of the landing page. That's your main thing. Now these days, is it necessary to have a web page to be effective? Like for some people that don't have, or have a more, if you're a cafe, is it okay to just have a Facebook page and that be your main point of contact rather than a web page?
Yes, I think it is okay to have a Facebook page. There are so many other ways that people are finding information as a restaurant. For instance, there's Yelp and all of the review kind of restaurant places that you can go to. So they're coming up a lot quicker in Google searches than, say, your website. And if you don't have regular content on your website, Google's not going to show that. So it depends, again, how much money you've got to spend, how much time you've got to spend as a small business owner. Because I know as a small business owner, you do everything. You do everything from all of your marketing, plus you're actually doing the day-to-day running of your business. So it's a time versus money kind of thing, I think. So I think it is okay to have a Facebook page as a restaurant or food vendor.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that can probably don't need a website because if you're like me, to do a website, you either need to pay somebody or you need to spend a lot of time and effort trying to do it, or you do a job and it doesn't look very professional.
Yeah.
Whereas I find a lot of the social media, it's really easy to make good-looking content quite easily. Yeah,
absolutely. Yep. As long as you're servicing that platform and you do have fresh content on it, I think that's fine, but it's also a case of servicing those review websites as well and making sure that your information is up to date on all of those, Zomato and Yelp and all those kind of things, making sure that your information is up to date on Google and that kind of thing as well. So that all makes contributes to pushing you up in Google searches. Yeah.
Rightio. Look at us. Okay. Oh, right. There's so many, especially I think if you're a cafe, you've got a lot more social media interaction that you need to deal with. Oh my goodness. But that's okay. We're gonna start at the beginning. So let's start with Facebook. Now you've talked about having content on social media platforms. Are they all about, how often do you put new content on there?
Depends on the platform, and it also depends on your time. So the more content, the better, but not to flood your platform kind of thing. So with, again, it depends on your business as well. There's no point in putting up, a similar photo twice a day for 7 days a week kind of thing. So it's good to have a broad range of content available for your customers. And, the content that you're putting up there needs to answer the question like what for your customer, what can I get out of this? What am I getting out of this? So, for Facebook, I'd probably suggest, let's take a restaurant, for example. I'd probably suggest something once a day at least on Facebook. But again, time and money, I think the more the better. Yeah.
The more the better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. More is more.
More is more. Yeah. But it's also a matter of testing the waters a bit with your customers and seeing what they're reacting to and seeing what they're sharing, because there's also no point in putting up content that's not being seen. So it is a little bit tricky now with Facebook and the algorithms that are on there, because Facebook decides who sees what when. And for really important posts, you should be boosting them. And that's the whole, purpose behind Facebook is, at the end of the day, they are a business. So they do want to take your money. So they will just put up posts that they think are good. So the best thing for you to do is to create really good shareable content. So we're talking video is probably the highest type of content that gets shared. So you should be creating some type of video. And, it doesn't have to be high production, crazy, studio videos. We're just talking about, small videos that you can do on your phone and 15 seconds kind of max. People zone out after about 3. I think 3 is the peak of when most people tap out of a video. Yeah.
So what sort of content are people sharing? It's not all cats. You can't all have cats in every cafe.
Cats, lots of cats, dogs, funny dogs. content that people are interested in. Yeah, so you really do have to think outside the box when it comes to creating content and making life a little bit more exciting for people who are sitting at the end of their laptop in their home, because it's really tricky. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's a matter of having a look around and seeing what other businesses are doing what you admire. Who are the businesses that are above you or bigger than you? And it doesn't have to be in Australia. Have a look internationally. What are other businesses doing that you'd like to do a similar thing? Same but different. And, take a few ideas here and there. Do some research and find out who's out there and what are they doing, what's getting shared. And it's, it means you have to have a little bit of strategy behind what you're posting. It's not just, we've got a new cake, quick, take a photo of it, and take the cake for a walk down the street and take a video while you're doing it. Hand a bit of cake to someone and take a video of them. I'm in such a cake mode lately.
That's a great idea.
Yum, cake.
But I love that. That really is thinking outside the box.
Unusual. Do something unusual. It needs to capture people's imagination, and it's there is so much content out there, but just a little. You need to be a little bit out of the box and a bit left of centre.
That's really great advice, Dee. And I really like your point about sharing. See what's being shared.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really, great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we're kind of running out of time. Oh, my goodness. And, we hardly got to speak about anything apart from, do it. Yay, social media is great, and you can be the master of your own destiny, and it's really important.
Yeah.
Just really quickly, Facebook, what are major pros and cons of Facebook?
Pros, it is definitely a DIY thing. It is available, so available and accessible to everyone. So it's easy to set up, and it's very shareable with all of your fans, and it's very easy to have a look at all your analytics on there. So whenever you're buying ads and that kind of thing, it is very easy to see what your return on investment is on there. So that's great. But cons, Facebook owns it. So they decide who sees what when. So you have to be a little bit smart about the content that you create to get organic reach instead of paid reach, because that's what you really want. You don't want to have to pay for it, although so you do need to have a budget for your marketing on Facebook. So you should be treating it like any other medium, like print or TV or radio. You need a budget for it as well. Yeah. Excellent.
I'm checking my 2 cents worth in. I love Facebook because of the events function.
Great.
If you are someone that has events or goes to events, whether you're a visual artist and you have exhibitions, whether you're a musician and you have shows, whether you're a cafe and you've got special events coming up, whether you're a food truck and you go to events, it's great because I forget stuff if it doesn't come up in my calendar in Facebook. It's great and out there. And if you want to support your friends' businesses as well, even if you can't go to an event, say that you're interested in it.
Say that you're going.
Absolutely, because then it comes up in other people's
their feeds.
Exactly, and then everyone can see it and it gets shared and great, and people find out about it. And I love that about Facebook. It's my favourite bit, the events part.
Yeah, click yes to everything.
Yes, be a yes.
Be a yes person. Pajamas at home? Yes. No one knows. It's okay. Just click yes.
Absolutely. Yes to everything. Oh, my goodness. Dee, thank you so much for popping in. Delilah Walsh from Do Ray Media talking about social media. And obviously it's a big wide world because I hardly get to speak about anything that I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to have you back.
Great.
Thanks very much. You've been tuned into Taking Care of Business. We'll be back next week on Monday about 10:30 a.m. Thanks.